This is Odyssey, the new electronic game simulator.
Drive, you can curl it, you can style it, you can brush it.
Control toaster, I believe this one's a T.
The 1970s gave us some truly weird items that looked like they belonged in a science fiction movie, but turned out to be absolutely brilliant solutions to everyday problems. These oddball inventions quietly revolutionized how we lived, from cluttered kitchens to chaotic mornings. So, why did we laugh them off and forget what they gave us? Pop-up hot dog toasters. You could argue the 1970s gave us more than one way to get dinner on the table fast, but pop-up hot dog toasters might take the prize for the weirdest shortcut. Picture this. Vertical slots like a regular toaster, but designed specifically to cradle hot dogs and buns. You'd pop them in, push the lever down, and wait while magic happened. The machine toasted your bun to golden perfection while heating the hot dog from both sides, delivering a complete snack without touching a single pan, pot, or grill. It sounds like something a cartoon character would invent, but these bright red and mustard yellow contraptions were actually time savers disguised as toys. Latchkey kids could whip up their own lunch without lighting the stove. Birthday parties became assembly lines of perfectly heated treats.
New Hormel microwave bacon. Our unique packets actually broil the bacon in your microwave.
Microwave bacon trays. Speaking of kitchen conveniences that looked absolutely alien, the microwave bacon tray appeared right when people were still figuring out what exactly they could do with those mysterious humming boxes. This wasn't just a plate, it was a plastic slab covered in weird ridges that seemed to serve no purpose until you laid bacon across the top. Then, suddenly, those grooves revealed their genius. As the microwave worked its magic, grease would drip down into the valleys while the meat cooked to crispy perfection above. It felt like some sort of alien waffle iron, no doubt about it. But watching it work was like witnessing a small miracle. You got evenly cooked, crispy bacon without turning on the stove or dealing with a pan full of hot, splattering grease. Even better, the tray drained the fat as it cooked, which meant bacon that was just a little less guilty. Combination can opener and knife sharpener. From bacon solutions, we moved to something that lived on practically every kitchen counter like a trusted friend. The combination can opener and knife sharpener was the Swiss Army knife of suburban kitchens, usually wall-mounted or plugged into a low shelf, humming quietly like it knew it was part of something bigger. On their own, neither tool was revolutionary. A can opener here, a knife sharpener there. But stick them together, and suddenly you had a secret weapon for dinner prep. The can opener would swing out with that classic chrome blade and magnetic grip, while the knife sharpener tucked discreetly into the side with two angled grooves where you could run your dull knives through in seconds. It was weird, sure, two completely unrelated tools mashed into one contraption.
To keep those invisible bacteria at bay, use a fridge thermometer and make sure your fridge is at 4 degrees Celsius or below.
Refrigerator thermometer magnets. Those same kitchens often featured something even stranger. Little magnets shaped like pineapples, peppers, or fish that looked like they belonged in a tourist gift shop. But hidden inside those weird avocado green plastic shells was something more valuable than decoration. A tiny dial thermometer that told you the actual temperature inside your fridge. In the 1970s, when food safety was just hitting public awareness, that actually mattered. These cheerful little magnets gave you a constant quick check without opening the door and fiddling with dials. You'd stick one to the inside of the fridge or right on the front and glance at it like a daily ritual. Milk, eggs, lunch meat, and that little green magnet that told you whether you could trust any of it. The strange part was how friendly they looked, with bright fruit shapes and colors that clashed with everything. Electric fondue pots. While kitchens were getting their weird upgrades, living rooms were embracing their own form of beautiful strangeness with electric fondue pots. These weren't just appliances. They were social events disguised as dinnerware. Picture melted cheese or chocolate bubbling in the middle of your table, turning every meal into something magical. People would dip bread, vegetables, fruit, even meat into that communal pot, laughing and chatting as they created dinner together. But the real innovation wasn't the social aspect. It was that electric base. Instead of fumbling with flames or gel fuel, your fondue stayed warm and steady all evening long. You could plug it in and forget about it. No smoke or sputtering, just consistent heat that lasted through dessert. They came in those wild 1970s colors, burnt orange, harvest gold, avocado green, and were shaped like teapots from another planet.
That's why Borden's ice cream sandwiches taste so much better.
Say, I gotta get me one, too.
Ice cream, sandwich molds. From communal dining, let's slide into something that put dessert creativity directly into your hands. Tupperware's ice cream sandwich molds looked exactly like plastic toys you'd expect to find at the bottom of a cereal box, but they had a brilliantly specific purpose. The idea was simple yet revolutionary. Anyone could become a dessert artist with nothing but a freezer and some free time. The set came with compartments to shape cookies and fill centers with soft serve or whipped ice cream. You'd clamp the two halves together and freeze the whole thing until it became a perfect little block of summer joy. The beauty was in the customization. Graham crackers, chocolate chips, yogurt swirls, even leftovers from store-bought tubs. For kids, it felt like conducting a delicious science experiment. For parents, it meant dessert without the grocery store run. Banana hooks. Speaking of kitchen solutions that seemed almost too simple to work, banana hooks solved a problem most people didn't even realize they had. These metal contraptions hung from cabinet undersides or perched on counters like fruit-themed cranes with curved hooks designed for one specific purpose, suspending bananas in midair. At first glance, it seemed ridiculous. Why would anyone need a special gadget just for bananas? The answer was pure brilliance disguised as simplicity. When bananas sit in bowls, they press against each other, creating soft spots and speeding up the ripening process. But hang them in the air, and circulation keeps the fruit firmer for days longer. In the 1970s, when food prices were climbing and every dollar counted, extending your grocery run by even a few days made a real difference. These hooks came in brass, chrome, and wood finishes to match any kitchen's personality, proving that even the most practical solutions could look purposeful. Rolling pins with measuring rings. From fruit storage, we moved to something that transformed baking from guesswork into precision. Rolling pins with removable measuring rings looked like toys with their bright plastic attachments, but they were professional-grade tools in disguise. Those colorful rings weren't decoration. They were removable guides designed to keep your dough at exactly the same thickness from edge to edge. If you'd ever struggled with uneven pie crusts or lopsided cookies, this gadget felt like pure magic. No more guessing, no more re-rolling, no more frustration. You'd pick your desired thickness, slide on the appropriate rings, and let the pin do the rest. It seemed almost too specific to be useful, but once you tried it, there was absolutely no going back. Home cooks loved it, professional bakers swore by it, and kids learning to make sugar cookies definitely felt more confident with those bright guides, keeping everything perfectly level.
And, of course, beautiful AM and FM. What time you wake up is
My business.
Under-cabinet radios with flip clocks. Those same kitchens often featured something that brought entertainment directly into the cooking space. Under-cabinet radios with flip clocks looked like tiny spaceships mounted beneath your cabinets, all plastic and chrome with knobs that clicked and dials that hummed. But these weren't just gadgets. They were the beating heart of the 1970s kitchen, letting you blast rock music while making breakfast or catch the weather report while packing lunch. The flip clock was absolutely mesmerizing. Every minute a new number would drop with that satisfying mechanical click, No screens, no blinking, just clean analog timekeeping that felt oddly comforting. The built-in radio was even more revolutionary, saving precious counter space while turning the kitchen into the home's social hub. News, talk shows, music. There was always something playing in the background while life happened around it. You'd flip pancakes to the Rolling Stones and wash dishes while the clock ticked over to 6:30, making ordinary moments feel somehow more cinematic. Electric scissors. From kitchen entertainment, let's move to something that seemed to defy the basic concept of scissors. Electric scissors looked like tiny hedge trimmers, but were designed for wrapping paper, fabric, and lightweight crafting materials. The twin blades would zip back and forth at the push of a button, powered by plug-in cords or early battery packs. It was weird technology, sure, but it filled a need people didn't realize they had. These little motors made long cuts straight and smooth with almost no hand effort, which meant faster crafts, neater gift wrapping, and zero hand cramping during big projects. Seamstresses loved them for cutting fabric. Teachers used them for classroom decorations. Anyone making curtains, costumes, or poster presentations found them indispensable. They looked ridiculous and sounded even stranger when they were running, but for anyone who struggled with shaky lines or sore wrists, they were nothing short of revolutionary. Wall-mounted can crushers. While some gadgets made tasks easier, others tackled the growing problem of household waste. Wall-mounted can crushers looked like they belonged in a garage more than a kitchen, but they made perfect sense the moment you tried one. The concept was beautifully simple. Crush your used soda or soup cans into flat discs with one satisfying pull of a lever. No more overflowing garbage bags, no sharp edges sticking dangerously out of the trash. Just that quiet sense of victory as aluminum crumpled like paper. These crushers were built to last, made of heavy-duty metal and screwed directly into the wall near your trash area. Some even came in colors to match your appliances. It sounded industrial because it was, but in an era when waste was rising and recycling was slowly entering mainstream consciousness, this little gadget was quietly ahead of the curve. Sliding drawer egg trays. From waste management, we slide into elegant storage solutions that made refrigerators feel futuristic. Sliding drawer egg trays fit perfectly under refrigerator shelves like secret compartments, holding neat rows of perfectly cradled eggs that you could access with one smooth pull. It was sleek, compact, and made your fridge look like it belonged on a spaceship while solving the age-old problem of broken shells and buried cartons. The genius was in the filing cabinet approach. Each egg had its own designated spot, and the entire tray glided out with effortless precision. For busy families, it saved precious fridge space. For anyone short on storage room, it made a huge difference in organization. And for home cooks who hated the anxiety of balancing acts around fragile shells, it was practically miraculous. Pull-out cutting boards. Built-in solutions weren't limited to the fridge. Pull-out cutting boards transformed dead drawer space into instant prep zones with simple engineering genius. Built directly into lower cabinets, these boards would slide out like table extensions, giving you a sturdy chopping surface without taking up any counter space. In small kitchens, which were the norm back then, every square inch mattered, and this hidden workspace could appear and disappear in seconds. The impact was bigger than the simple design suggested. You didn't need to clear counter space or haul out extra equipment. Just pull, chop, and slide back in. When you finished, a quick wipe down and push sent it back into hiding. For busy parents trying to prep dinner during the evening news, or late-night snackers who needed quick solutions, it was a quiet game-changer that made small spaces work like much larger ones. Reversible window box fans. From hidden kitchen solutions, we moved to climate control that looked like something from a science fiction movie. Window-mounted box fans with reversible flow were the unsung heroes of summer, sliding right into window frames with adjustable side panels and offering something magical, the power to push hot air out or pull cool air in, depending on what your space needed. That reversible flow switch was pure genius. Flip it one way and you could evacuate the stale heat of a July afternoon. Flip it the other direction and suddenly you had crisp, nighttime air flowing in while you slept. It was low-tech air management before smart homes were even a fantasy, but it worked with surprising effectiveness. These fans were boxy, noisy, and definitely not beautiful, but in the 1970s, when central air was still a luxury and electric bills mattered, that kind of control felt almost magical. TV dinner trays with cup holders. While homes were getting climate solutions, they were also embracing new ways to enjoy meals together. TV dinner trays with built-in cup holders weren't just feeding accessories. They were symbols of changing family dynamics. These weren't simple plastic slabs. They were complete dining systems with compartments for each food item, sturdy spots for silverware, and yes, perfectly sized holders to keep your drink stable during the entire meal. They'd slide over your lap like mobile tables, making it feel completely acceptable to eat dinner in front of the television. Back then, this wasn't considered laziness. It was a new kind of family time, and these trays made it feel official and comfortable. Push-button, salt and pepper grinders. From family dining, let's move to something that made seasoning food feel like operating space-age equipment. Push-button salt and pepper grinders looked like tiny battery-operated torches, but they delivered perfectly ground spices with zero effort. You'd hold one in your hand, press the button, and out came an evenly distributed shake of flavor. No twisting or turning required. These gadgets looked absolutely wild at first glance. Bright chrome finishes, LED lights, some even making soft whirring sounds as they ground your seasonings to perfect consistency. They looked futuristic sitting next to your dinner, but they solved real problems, especially for people with arthritis or limited hand strength. The grind size was usually adjustable so you could customize your seasoning like you were dining at an upscale restaurant. Bedside light switch panels. While dining rooms were getting high-tech seasoning, bedrooms were embracing the ultimate luxury of remote lighting control. Bedside light switch panels weren't just bedside lamps. They were command centers that let you control your entire home's lighting without leaving the comfort of your covers. Some had buttons for each room, others included timers or dimmer functions, but the goal was always the same: stay cozy under blankets while managing your whole house's illumination. These panels looked like something from a spacecraft control room, with plastic toggles, bright indicator lights, and labels marking different areas like hall, living, and kitchen. The convenience was absolutely undeniable. Parents could shut off lights their kids forgot without getting up. Night readers could darken the house without disturbing sleeping family members. And in winter, it meant staying warm instead of crossing freezing hallways just to flip switches. Portable hair dryers with bonnet caps. Beauty routines were getting their own technological upgrades with portable hair dryers featuring inflatable bonnet caps. These looked exactly like UFOs designed for your head, but they were beloved inventions that brought salon-quality hair drying into your own home. The setup included a compact motor in a plastic case, usually pink or white, connected by a long, flexible hose to an inflatable plastic bonnet that wrapped around your head like a pillow from another dimension. When you turned it on, warm air would fill the bonnet and dry your hair evenly, just like professional salon equipment. No more standing with a handheld dryer for 30 minutes straight. You could sit comfortably, read a book, even sip coffee while getting the perfect set. They were loud, somewhat clunky, and looked absolutely ridiculous, but they worked beautifully and were essential for women with curlers, rollers, or any elaborate hair routine. Light-up, magnifying, makeup mirrors. Bathroom mirrors were getting their own dramatic upgrades with light-up magnifying makeup mirrors that looked like something from a Hollywood film set. These were big, round, and glowing softly from the edges, offering intense magnification, sometimes 5 or even 10 times normal size, combined with built-in ring lighting that eliminated shadows and guesswork from makeup application. The weird details made them even more fascinating. Some had temperature settings for the light, cool for daytime looks, warm for evening makeup. Others rotated like lazy Susans, revealing different mirrors with various magnification strengths. They were undeniably clunky and oddly futuristic, but teen girls, mothers, and grandmothers all swore by them. Applying mascara or handling precision eyebrow work had never been so accurate, and they added a genuine touch of Hollywood glamour to everyday morning routines. Vinyl appliance covers. From beauty equipment, we moved to appliance protection that doubled as kitchen decoration. Vinyl appliance covers looked like someone had dressed their toaster in a quilted raincoat, but they were everywhere in the 1970s. Blenders, mixers, toasters, coffee machines. If it lived on your counter, it probably had its own custom cover, usually quilted and often in floral or geometric prints, that either matched your curtains or clashed so dramatically it became its own design statement. These covers served one clear purpose: protecting appliances from dust, grease, and cooking splatters while adding a touch of personality to the kitchen. Some matched existing decor perfectly, others seemed to defy all known color coordination, but underneath that weird fabric was genuinely useful thinking. Covering your appliances made them last longer, stay cleaner, and somehow made the entire kitchen look more organized and intentional. They were wipeable, washable, and tough as nails. Tiny jackets that kept expensive gadgets functioning properly for years longer than they would have otherwise.
Fitted right in your home, clear vinyl or pastel color slipcovers from Advance keep your furniture clean and new-looking for a lifetime. Spills wipe up easily.
Clear plastic slipcovers. Living room furniture was getting its own protective measures with clear plastic slipcovers that squeaked when you sat down and stuck to your legs in summer heat. These thick, molded protectors fit tightly over couches and armchairs like second skins, creating an unmistakable shiny barrier between your furniture and real life. They were weird, undeniably tacky, and completely practical for families where furniture represented a major investment. In homes with expensive couches, messy kids, or active pets, plastic slipcovers were force fields against dirt, spills, crumbs, and everyday wear. Some were zippered, others heat-sealed, but all made the same clear statement: this furniture was meant to be preserved, not necessarily lived on. The logic was sound. Replacing a plastic cover was easy and cheap. Replacing an actual sofa could break your budget. Still, nobody could deny how strange they felt, turning every sit-down into a careful negotiation with squeaky, slidey surfaces. Hardwired intercom systems. Home communication was evolving with hardwired intercom systems that looked like miniature PA systems built directly into walls throughout the house. Usually positioned in kitchens, hallways, and near bedrooms, these devices let you communicate across your entire home at the push of a button. You'd press, wait for the click, and then speak with total authority to every room simultaneously. Dinner's ready, turn off the lights, stop fighting. It felt weird and wonderful at the same time, like being the captain of a household ship. The real magic was how high-tech it felt for the era. This wasn't just shouting downstairs, it was communication at the push of a button. Parents loved eliminating the need to run around the house hunting down family members. Kids thought it was hilarious until they got called out over the speaker system. Some models even included music functions, letting you play the same radio station in every room for coordinated household entertainment.
Tonight. Let's.
What are you playing at?
Glass milk bottles with snap-on caps. Even something as simple as milk storage was getting innovative upgrades with glass milk bottles featuring plastic snap-on caps. While glass milk bottles might sound like 1950s nostalgia, they were still common in the 1970s, but with an important improvement: no more flimsy paper tops. These new caps popped into place with satisfying clicks, sealing in freshness and preventing leaks with much more reliability than their predecessors. The combination of reusable glass and reliable plastic hit the perfect sweet spot between tradition and innovation. Glass kept milk colder and tasted better, while the new caps kept everything cleaner and more secure. For families getting milk from local dairies or corner stores, it felt like a quiet but meaningful upgrade. The caps came in various colors: blue, red, green, and some even had pull tabs or spaces for writing dates, making milk storage feel slightly more sophisticated and organized. Crocheted toilet paper, roll dolls. Finally, no discussion of 1970s household oddities would be complete without mentioning the crocheted toilet paper roll dolls that graced bathroom tank tops across America. You'd walk into someone's bathroom and there she'd be, a plastic doll torso wearing a full handmade gown that just happened to hide an extra roll of toilet paper underneath her skirts. These dolls were usually crafted by grandmothers, neighbors, or crafty friends who knew their way around crochet hooks. The gowns came in every color imaginable, some frilly with matching bonnets, others featuring pearl buttons or elaborate patterns, but they all served the same weirdly functional purpose of keeping spare toilet paper handy while adding decorative charm to utilitarian spaces. It sounds completely silly, and it absolutely was, but for households that took pride in put-together bathrooms, this little touch of handmade flair made spaces feel cozier, more personal, and more welcoming. The dolls became conversation starters that no guest ever forgot, and they solved the practical problem of spare roll storage while showcasing someone's crafting skills. Plus, guests never had to worry about running out of paper. It was right there under the skirt, hidden in plain sight. These weird, wonderful inventions from the 1970s prove that the best solutions often come disguised as the strangest ideas. They might have looked like toys, seemed overly complicated, or clashed with every decorating principle we thought we knew, but they worked. They made life easier, more efficient, and somehow more fun in ways we didn't fully appreciate until they were gone. Maybe it's time to bring back a little of that beautiful weirdness, that willingness to try solutions that look ridiculous but work like magic. After all, the best innovations have always been the ones that made people stop and say, "That's crazy, but it just might work."